Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and now we are starting the main topic of today's live show. The way this show works is we're live every day, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and usually I start each show. I delay a little bit to get there, but I start each show about a specific topic. And Thursdays, I'm going to try to do a repeating series here that I'm calling True Crime 101. True Crime 101, because look, you guys have been telling me to go get in deep to a lot of cases. And it takes a lot of time and energy, and I want to make sure everyone is doing the same amount of time and energy and that we're all starting from the same place. So I thought, okay, and I'm sure I'm not the first to do this, but I'm excited to do this in my way. Let's do a town hall where we gather the most important evidence and important intel, and we start from the beginning to break down, here's what we know so far. So that way, as we continue to report on said case, on missing person, or whatever it is, you guys can always start here at these True Crime 101 installments to get you guys updated. And I want to do it live with you guys so the community, you guys can get me involved. So in case I'm off, I say something incorrectly, because I'm still learning this as well, my experts, my planeteers, as you will help make sure that you guys are getting the best information to start the baseline of what to know in this case. And today we are starting the series with a story that is trending nationwide. It's starting to really pick up a lot of steam, and it was the first I'd heard about it was last night, thanks to Alicia, Puff, and all my amazing mods, everybody else in the headline group who are helping me find all the most important stories to get to you. This story revolves around a missing mom, and her name is Heidi Planck. And so this is the basic timeline, and we're going to get into more details and some twists and turns that have started to happen. Who's suspect? Where could she be? What happened? But the main baseline of what to start with here is the fact that on October 17th, she went to her son's football game. That was the last. She was also last seen in downtown Los Angeles. Her dog was found later in a high-rise building where she was not. On October 20th, she failed to pick up her son. And October 20th, the missing person report was then filed, as well as wellness checks performed. October 29th, the FBI raided her home. So it's still a little fresh here now as time has progressed, but they still now, since October 17th, have not found her. She's been missing all this time. So what happened? Where has she been? Who are the suspects? What do you need to know about this case as we proceed to get into it? All right. So first thing you need to know here, we do have the last footage. This is the footage that we have of her leaving her home to go to said football.
October 17th shows her leaving her West Los Angeles home with her dog. In a puzzling twist, on the day Planck disappeared, her dog was found in the evening wandering around on an upper floor of a high-rise apartment building in downtown Los Angeles.
Now, this high-rise apartment complex was apparently playing hard. They didn't want to have. They were like, you need this warrants. They were being very difficult to get information. But I'm told now they are starting to get information. But why was she in this building, this high-rise building? What was going on in this building? Who could she have been meeting? Who was she seeing? Et cetera, et cetera. So that's the last thing we know and have seen about her. And that's, again, was October 17th. The dog, again, was on the 28th floor of this high-rise downtown Los Angeles, 12 miles from her home. And so her car remains missing. So she could be somewhere on the run. We don't know. According to local reports, after her laptop and phone were found at her home during a wellness check. So her car's missing, but her laptop and phone were left at home. On October 29th, FBI agents raided her home, allegedly leaving with files. They had been expecting to find a crime scene there, according to local reports. Later emerged that Heidi's boss was under federal securities investigation for possible fraud charges, according to local reports. And that's where things get more interesting. And we'll get there in a second, because her ex-husband is pointing at the boss as sort of suspect number one. Officers are tracing Heidi's last known steps in an effort to find the mom. A number of troubling questions remain. Her ex-husband, Wayne, said he had last seen Heidi at the football game on the 17th, but told local outlets that she left early and appeared edgy. Wayne told ABC she may have been a little bit edgy. I don't know. He added, if you have seen anything at all, we have a 10-year-old boy at home that's looking for his mom, and we need to find his mom. People don't just disappear. It's unclear why she left the game early, but her friends have said she would never leave her son. She's a good person. She's a good mom. She's always like the person you want to have around you. Her ex, Wayne, added, she's a good mom. She's a really good mom. She wouldn't let a day go by without talking to her son. There's no way. So right there, now we know something's up. Did she leave? Whatever. Why is she edgy? Look, you have ex-husbands, you have the relationship. Something seems dodgy, but still, he's like, come on. Usually, even the most difficult parents will agree on it's for our children. And so he's out there and he's talking a lot. So usually you would think about the ex-husband being as a suspect, and maybe he is. We don't know for sure. But at least he's being very vocal in sort of being out there saying, we don't know where she is. She would normally not be gone this long. All signs point, okay, he's doing the right things. Now, the dog is the biggest question mark. Planck's friends posted flyers in LA on Saturday near where her dog was found, wandering an apartment building on October 17th. Los Angeles Police Department detectives have not said if Planck is connected to the complex. It's unclear who found the dog and when. It's also unclear when Heidi's loved ones discovered her dog had been found alone and where he had been in the 3 days since he was last seen. I mean, talk about mystery. So that she brought the dog along somewhere, and then she's taken, leaves, whatever. The dogs must have been reacting to said events. Wish we could hear the dog talk. We can't. Did she bring the dog for protection? Who knows? Jared Bergen, a retired police chief, said people are very, very attached to their pets, and their pets do not just go missing. There is clearly something out of place here. So that's when the police launched their hunt. A friend told CBS, it seems to us that everything stems from that building where her dog was found. It is not known where Planck was in the 3 days since she was last seen and the day she was reported missing by her ex-husband. She's white, 5'3", and weighs 120 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. If you've seen anything regarding her whereabouts, please contact LAPD, missing person. And here is the phone number, guys, 213-996 1800. That's 1800. And if you want to remain anonymous, you can call 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 8477, or go directly to lacrimestoppers.org. And so we are that's the basic information. Here's the high rise. This is the most basic information about this case so far. But where things get more interesting now as the case has developed over the past couple weeks, now the ex-husband is speaking up more, suspiciously, pointing out like, well, here's what I think. And so ex-husband of missing accountant Heidi Planck claims her boss under investigation for $43 million fraud and had accused her of siphoning money. So this is where things, take a turn. The ex-husband of Heidi, who was a LA bookkeeper, claimed her investment firm boss who is being investigated for fraud, didn't appear too concerned for her after she disappeared and seemed more worried about recovering her work laptop instead. James Wayne told Daily Mail he believes the answer to Heidi's whereabouts lies with her boss, Jason Sugarman, and his company. 39-year-old California mom has not been seen since she left her son's football game in Downey on October 17th. Now, here's the ex-husband. This is Wayne here. And right here, this is Sugarman, Jason Sugarman on the left, managing partner at Camden Capital Partners, LLC. That's the same company that employs Heidi. And then pictured right here is Jason with his wife, Elizabeth Sugarman, and their son from 2014. Okay, what was going on between Sugarman and then was anything going on? These are obviously the questions now. The dog was obviously later discovered, as we previously said, but Wayne suspects foul play with his ex-wife's disappearance and believes that her job at the investment firm is somehow connected. Planck worked as a financial controller, overseeing all employees involved in the accounting process at Camden Capital Partners, where Sugarman is a managing partner who is currently under investigation for this fraud scheme. Now, again, this is an accusation by the ex-husband. He's trying to figure out what's going on. This is the suspect he's pointing at. Again, speculation warning. I always like to be very clear on what we do. We have no evidence that this is the case. However, he seems correct in his suspicion. That's where I would want to ask questions, and I would want to rule him out first. And so that's currently where we are. Heidi knows all of Jason and the company's secrets. She knows where the bones are buried, Wayne said. The missing mom's ex-husband said he received a phone call from a Securities and Exchange Commission investigator on October 21st asking him about Jason Sugarman and the firm. They were interested in Sugarman and his company. They wanted to know what I know about them and just generally asked me what I thought about Sugarman. Sugarman was charged by the SEC in 2019 with hatching a fraudulent scheme that swindled $43 million out of pension funds and left a Native American tribe $60 million in debt. His business partner, Jason Galanis, was sentenced to 189 months in prison for his participation in multiple fraudulent schemes, including the tribal bond schemes last year. Wayne said he had spoken to Sugarman's assistant shortly after Planck disappeared and noted that her boss didn't appear to be too concerned that she had gone missing. He claimed Sugarman seemed more interested in making sure her work computer was returned. While I was on the phone with his assistant, I heard Sugarman in the background barking at his assistant to tell me, make sure he knows I want my laptop. Ugh. There was no concern at all from my ex-wife's employer. It's a multi-million-dollar company. They didn't offer a private investigator or put up a reward. The only thing they really seemed concerned about was Heidi's computer, he added. So again, here's the footage of her leaving. It doesn't seem like she has a computer. She's getting into the car with the dog, but that's the last seen appearance of her. Owners of the apartment complex in downtown LA, where Planck's dog was initially refused to cooperate with investigators and hand over footage without a warrant, according to Wayne, they started to cooperate after the warrant was issued. Now, I guess that makes sense. You got to make sure you get the warrant. That's part of the process. They got the warrant, and now they're proceeding. You got to protect your building. You can't just give away things right away. There are protocols to take place. So there have been reports of the building being difficult. I mean, you all should be difficult. Don't do it until you get the warrant. That's there to protect everybody. Wayne had said Wayne said he never returned the laptop and instead turned it over to the police. Good on him. He then spoke with the assistant again a few days later, but claimed this time the employee accused Planck of siphoning off money from the company. Interesting. When Wayne said he didn't believe the accusations, the assistant allegedly claimed they had proof and sent him several of Heidi's personal bank statements. According to Wayne, he never looked at the bank documents in detail and gave them to police, and soon he got them. He said cops later told him that Heidi didn't have a lot of money in her accounts. It was pretty low of Sugarman and his minions to accuse Heidi of basically embezzling when she's mysteriously disappeared. He added that he has no idea how her employees had obtained her banking information. How would they have that? Wayne, a hairdresser, revealed Planck doesn't have a college degree or any accounting licensure, but was making good money as a bookkeeper, earning $125,000 a year. That's not too shabby, with monthly bonuses up to $1,500 a month. Yeah, so she's doing okay. She had been employed at Camden Capital Partners, LLC, for the past 5 years, starting out as Sugarman's personal assistant and working her way up as a bookkeeper. Heidi knows all of Jason and the company's secrets. She knows where the bones are buried. This whole thing just stinks. Something just isn't right, and I can't put my finger on it. According to Wayne, Planck has been antsy at their son's football game and kept switching her seat. 1 minute she sat by us, the next she was over sitting in a different bleacher. She eventually left the football game at halftime. She was scheduled to pick up her 10-year-old son at his private school 3 days later on October 20th, but never arrived. Now that's a huge red flag. That makes total sense. So here's Wayne, who they share with the son, 50-50 custody. My heart goes out to this boy. This is awful. That's why I want to make sure we get the word out. What happened? How do we figure out what's going on here? Later that evening, she did not text her son goodnight, nor did she return his message, which Wayne said was a little strange. Father, however, said he wasn't too worried about it at the time and told his son that his mother may have been busy. It wasn't until she didn't hear from his ex-wife a second day that he began to grow concerned. Heidi is the type of mother who texts or calls her son every night without fail when he's not with her. Heidi had a boyfriend in the San Francisco area for the past 3 years. I thought she may have made a last-minute decision to go visit him. Wayne said his son began to grow worried for his mother, and when he dropped her off from school on the 20th, still not being able to connect to his ex-wife, told him he'd be there to pick him up. Wayne said he later arrived to see Heidi hadn't shown up. It was then I started to get worried. I took my son and we both went over to LAPD and filed a missing persons report. Wayne said he had been told by the authorities the location finder on her cell phone had been turned off and the GPS system on her Range Rover was never set up. Guys, I can't implore that enough. Some of these cars that you have, they have that feature already there and you don't even turn it on. Or it's a couple bucks a month. Dude, sign up. Get that thing tracked. Who cares? Unless you're somebody who doesn't want to be tracked because you're doing shady stuff. If you want your family to be able to find you in an emergency, turn that stuff on or get that OnStar or whatever it is. Because there was a moment we thought we lost our car. Someone stole it, and we couldn't. There was nothing we could do because we didn't turn it on. And so that's a frustrating thing where they have it. The systems are there, but you have to, as the owner, turn it on and allow it for it to actually check, which is crazy. So here are their last known movements. October 20th, Planck fails to pick up son from school. October 17th, she leaves home. Same day on 17th, this is where the dog's found in this apartment nearby in Los Angeles. This is also where she was last seen. So we're all around this area of Los Angeles. Doesn't really help much. And then here's the missing person document of more photos and where her last known whereabouts, her Range Rover, plate ID, etc. The Range Rover, I can't see that, but it's a Range Rover, a gray Range Rover. It's hard to see the actual plate number. I wish they would have made that a little bigger. Her vehicle has still yet to be recovered. So that's a weird part. How do you hide the vehicle? You know, a body, a person. Hard to hide a Range Rover. Now with more people looking, who knows? Maybe we'll get more found. But the Range Rover, the car, is still yet to be recovered. Their pet dog was found just hours after she left the football game downtown. Now, does that mean she was? I'm confused. In the apartment complex is different. Did someone else find her? Was the dog taken by another bystander who left her there? Just because there's a lot to figure out there, right? How did the dog get there is the biggest question, or the dog travel to say, get in behind somebody? Who knows? Heidi has no connection to anyone in the building that I'm aware of, said Wayne. It was wandering the 28th floor of a luxury high-rise located about 200 yards from Staples Center. So I imagine the cops have been knocking on the doors of the 28th floor to figure out who is in there. Does Sugarman or someone else at her work have a suite? My head immediately goes, again, speculation. Was there someone she's dating or secretly dating? Someone that might have been in her life that she was going to visit in said place is what who is there? There has to be someone connected to it. It makes no sense for a dog to make it up the elevator to 28th floor. And then if you were to do something to this woman, you just let the dog loose in your own floor like that. My head can't even process how that makes any sense. Why the dog is there? So again, huge red flag. Something's up. I'm curious if you guys want to send over any of your thoughts. Pinned comment is the best way for me to read them because there's a lot of chatter in there. But let me know your thoughts on what that means with the dog being on the 28th floor. But yeah, again, Heidi has no connections to anyone in that building. And our dog was able to pass through the front door of the building without a key card for entry. Walk past the concierge desk, walk into the elevator, and go up to 28th floor, which again requires a key card. How did that happen? So I didn't even know about the key card part. I'd like to know how our dog made the 30-mile trek from Downey to downtown LA in about 3 hours. Someone had to have taken him there, and someone had to have left him inside the building and take him up the elevator. The owners of that apartment complex are reportedly refusing to cooperate with investigators and have denied requests to search the building's parking structure and security footage without the warrant. Apparently now they have gotten the warrant. Omni Group, a real estate development company, is the owner of the building, Hope and Flower Luxury Residential Complex downtown LA. Daily Mail has reached out to them seeking comment, but so far nothing. Wayne said that they were able to find their dog because he was microchipped. So he had his OnStar turned on. The dog did. People are very, very attached to their pets. Pets don't just go missing. There's clearly something out of place. Right now, as far as I know, there aren't any concrete leads onto her whereabouts. Wayne said, surprisingly, his son is doing as well as can be expected. There aren't any books on how to communicate with your children in this situation, so I'm being as honest and open as possible with him. He's talks to his counselors at school, and for now, he seems okay. Whew, I can't even imagine. That is a rough thing, but so far, maybe there is a way to recover her still, so let's stay positive for now. Last Friday, federal agents and robbery homicide detectives from the LAPD entered her home with guns drawn. Sources told CBS that officers believed they could be walking to the crime scene. However, she wasn't there. Nearly a dozen other agents went through every room, the garbage, planners around the home. I'm hoping for the best outcome, but we also have to prepare for the worst. So that is what we know so far. Now, one more piece of intel did come in. She does, as talking about potential suspects, she did have a boyfriend. Now, the boyfriend thought she ghosted him and is a high-flying executive at Mark Zuckerberg's charity. Again, who is this guy? Well, just last other person to sort of get through so your update on everything. His name is Naeem Salam, and he works for Mark Zuckerberg's initiative as Vice President of Operations. And here's another picture of Heidi, so you guys know what she looks like. Now it has emerged that the single mom has been dating Naeem Salam, who worked for the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative as a vice president of operations. according to his LinkedIn. Organization is owned by Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan. Stanford-educated Naeem's mom confirmed to the Sun that he had been dating Heidi and gasped, "Oh no," when told that she had gone missing. The mental health counselor confirmed she had met Heidi previously and that she hoped all is well. Myra said Naeem works with the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. He's a vice president there. I'm trying to speak to him about Heidi, who has gone missing. I do know her. I met her. Sun reached out to Naeem for comment, but was unable to get in contact with him. Heidi's ex-husband, however, Jim Wayne, told the Sun on Tuesday that Naeem and Heidi had an argument before she went missing, and he had assumed that she was ghosting him when he didn't hear from her. 23-year-old Beverly Hills beauty salon owner stressed that he had no suspicions. This is the ex-husband. She stressed he has no suspicions regarding Naeem. He explained, "I don't have any worries about him. He's a great guy. I'm no detective for sure, but he seems like a great guy. They had been in an argument for the week before, so he didn't know anything about her disappearance. He thought she was just ghosting him. He had no idea." Jim said the couple's quarrel was over Naeem's feeling obligated to remain up north instead of traveling down to Los Angeles to be with Heidi. He said that they got in an argument because he lives in San Francisco and she wanted him to come down, but he couldn't because he has to work. As I said, I'm not a detective, but I can pretty much assure you that that's not it. So there you go. That's the other lead there of could the boyfriend be involved? I haven't seen the latest comments from him, but the main person who seems to be at the question of this is the boss. Her boss is the one here, as we're now repeating a lot we've already shown. Here's some more images of Heidi. The biggest takeaway here and the biggest question mark is this guy Sugarman. Now, again, I don't know. I'm speculating. That's what we do a little bit here because we're trying to figure this out. Was there something with Sugarman? Was there a threat? Who knows? I mean, to go the other side, was she actually siphoning out funds? We have to air out all possibilities. It seems like most people are saying that's unlikely, especially if the feds would be able to see her bank accounts at this point. You'd think that's not impossible to get. And so you'd think they would be able to figure that out unless she put it in some sort of dummy account or something. But those, I always don't even believe those are as easy to make. But was Sugarman involved in this is the big question mark. Again, we don't know. He's saying that she siphoned money, but that also could be an immense excuse for him to cover up some sort of weird thing that went south between the two of them, as she threatened to say, "I'm not comfortable with this." That does play, given the ex-husband's take on things. So, yeah, someone just said it too. Follow the money. If they found out that money was put in there, that would obviously help as well to sort of figure out what happens. But the fact that she knew all these secrets about the company, the fact that she was sort of their accountant, you know what I mean? Like the fact that she's sort of into finance and money just shows me that's where people get really worried. And if this guy's under an indictment and has all this, and is currently under investigation, Sugarman clearly is one that we should be looking at more closely because therefore she might be up for, revealing certain things in said investigation and he wants to shush her. That one makes the most sense. So, we'll see. Farley is saying, "I lived in that building a long time ago. It's very shady." Really, Farley? Okay. Well, again, I can't confirm Farley, but Farley's a member, so I hope, Farley, you're not lying on that. But Farley's saying the building where they found, where the dog was, shady, even with all the elevator key cards and things. Curious what you guys think on this. So there you go. That is the bottom line on this case. Now you've been updated. Now you know the basic gist of where we're at with this case so far. There's definitely a lot happening. Potential corruption, a lot here. A lot of people involved in this case, and I imagine more will be revealing itself is what the word I was trying to say as we find out. I hope she's okay, but again, so many red flags here is what's going on. Where's the car? Why was the dog there? A lot of stuff that we need to evaluate and keep considering as this case develops. So we will keep you updated on this case, but that is True Crime 101, you getting updated on the intro to the Heidi Planck disappearance and mystery. What do you guys think? What are your theories? I want to hear them down in the comments below. We are still live. In fact, we're going to open up the lines and talk about this more in depth with our audience. So if you want to become part of the Popcorn Planeteer community, make sure you hit that join button. It's like a super subscribe. You get to support this channel, what we do, hear more cases like this, and you get to get involved in the community with call-ins and a lot of other stuff. You can also catch the replays of these full episodes to learn more. We will keep you updated on this case and so much more. If you are watching live, don't go anywhere. We are not done, but I'm clipping this so anybody who wants to look in this case can have a primer of the intro to the Heidi Planck mystery. I hope positive outcome comes. Stay tuned for more updates here on Popcorn Planet.